Nevada, and Arizona. Recreational marijuana on the ballot in 2016. Over in Arizona, you have opposition groups lined up, throwing, reefer madness down, smacking down the old gateway theories, and there's going to be pot shops every neighborhood and blah 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 blah. There'll be so much marijuana everywhere that everybody will just be laying around listening to Grateful Dead albums and tie-dyeing the sky. Over in Nevada, however, you have the same thing going on. You have a recreational marijuana law on the ballot in 2016. People are going to be able to vote for. Yet there's no commercials on TV saying, "Oh, this is bad. Don't vote for this. This is garbage. This is going to make your kids smoke heroin and sex orgies and demons and marijuana bad." That's what they do in Arizona, right? And Nevada's just as right wing as Arizona usually. Maybe not always on all issues, but I don't know. I just it seemed a little fishy. So let's dig into the actual numbers. As of Monday, no Las Vegas television advertising slots have been purchased or reserved by any anti-legalization group, according to the Federal Communications Commission website. If a majority of voters support Question 2 on November 8th, adults over 21 and older will be able to buy, possess, and use marijuana legally without a prescription. This is all sounding pretty good, huh? The Pro-Question 2 Political Action Committee, the coalition to regulate marijuana like alcohol, has hit the advertising trail hard in recent weeks. The group reserved more than $900,000 worth of ad space on southern Nevada TV stations. And most of that's obviously in Clark County, where Las Vegas is. So 4 weeks leading up to Election Day in July, the group rolled out digital ads, and earlier this month it unveiled a billboard advertisement. At least 3 Nevada-based groups have formed to fight Question 2, which is their legalize marijuana question. But most of these groups have done little or no advertising. What's going on? Sounds a little fishy. At least 3 Nevada-based groups have, joined together in Northern Nevada. An educational nonprofit has erected a few billboards in Reno and Las Vegas that show images of sweet foods such as cupcakes and lollipops with the text, "Can you spot the pot? Can your kids?" As a nonprofit, the Substance Abuse and Prevention Coalition can't take a stance on the ballot measure, meaning it cannot advocate for people to vote against marijuana legalization. It operates on federal grants, and the executive director, Jennifer Snyder, said the grant for the marijuana campaign will end next month. Oops, a little early. So those billboards are about to disappear. Almost zero opposition. Snyder said the campaign aims to educate parents about marijuana edibles and what marijuana looks like today. Quote, "It's not the same marijuana that parents smoked 20, 30 years ago," she added. "But they smoked it, and you're saying now we're like, oh, hey, this new weed, can't smoke that, it's bad." Alright, then there's a PAC, Coalition Against Legalizing Marijuana, which was formed in 2015 specifically to fight Question 2. But it has not even engaged in the campaign as of yet. The group did not file any contribution reports with the Nevada Secretary of State's office for May 24th or June 10th reporting deadlines. The most recent filing from January 15th reporting nothing raised or spent. The next reporting deadline for PACs is October 14th. I'm sure I'll do an update, or maybe, who knows, maybe there will be no opposition. The group's Facebook and Twitter pages have sat inactive for more than a year. The most recent posts on both social media platforms came on March 12, 2015, when Coalition founder Jeff Kane did not return phone calls seeking comment. Nice update. Nevadans for Responsible Drug Policy, a nonprofit organization co-founded by former GOP State Assemblyman Pat Hickey, created a website dedicated to fighting the effort. The website has regular blog posts but has done no advertising. So it's like a troll hangout. Maybe he pays the trolls. It's probably what it is, like the troll feeding trough. Like the pig barn. I don't know. Hickey told Las Vegas Review-Journal that there are no plans to jump into the airwaves anytime soon. We will continue to do grassroots education, speaking on panels, appearing before community businesses and church groups, etc. Hickey said. More like they'll continue to troll the internet with their 1930s style reefer madness, because that's all these people kind of like running these super PACs do. Was that even a super PAC? It might not have been. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Anyhow, there's one more anti-pot group that came up since this legalization effort has popped in, and they're called the Anti-Marijuana PAC, Protecting Nevada's Children. It's always about the children. And it was formed on August 18th. They don't care about the children whose lives are ruined because daddy got taken to prison for possessing marijuana or growing marijuana or whatever. Don't worry about that kid. He'll be alright when you arrest him for marijuana when he gets old enough. Yeah, the drug war. Anyway, they're protecting Nevada's children, and they were formed on August 18th, just like yesterday, huh? The group's listed president, local attorney, and campaign operative Daniel Stewart did not return phone calls or emails seeking comment for the story. We're still here. Well, you know, in September 2015, the same guy joined a GOP political consulting firm, November Incorporated, which has worked on several Nevada campaigns, including those of Governor Brian Sandoval and U.S. Senator Dean Heller, both Republicans, both right-wingers, both staunchly against the marijuana legalization, supposedly. All of a sudden, they're just really not doing a whole lot. Some of the state's top elected officials, including Sandoval and most of the state's sheriffs and police chiefs, have declared opposition to the measure. U.S. Senator Harry Reid, Democrat from Nevada, you might have heard of him, the minority leader of the House. He's a supporter of medical cannabis, but yet earlier this month he said he isn't sold on recreational because he's fallen in line with Hillary, and we're going to do a rescheduling and take this whole thing over and give it all to our buddies. And Harry Reid might end up being, the kingpin someday. All right, Eric Herzik, head of the political science department at the University of Nevada, Reno, said political opposition to the referendum means little if there isn't an active campaign to back up the stance. And I agree. It's just a bunch of people talking in the wind because people are going to actually go vote. They don't want to say it too loudly because they might lose votes if they say, oh, no, marijuana, blah, 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 let's go against it and get caught lobbying. Watch out. People might vote against you just on that. That's the year of the marijuana, don't forget. All right, so if you're able to run ads and you have people who are making calls, knocking on doors, it doesn't matter if Brian Sandoval says he's opposed to it, Herzik said. But if more opponents jump into the mix between now and Election Day, Herzik said they would face an uphill battle. 40 years ago, he said marijuana was considered the assassin of youth, the gateway to heroin. But public view on weed has undergone a drastic shift over the decades. According to the Gallup poll last year, 58% of Americans supported legal marijuana. In 1969, Summer of Love, the Gallup poll said 12%. So don't believe your grandpa or great-grandpa when he says that everybody wanted to legalize marijuana in the 60s. Everybody wants to legalize marijuana right now. Not the 60s. Only 12% wanted to then. Now everybody does. 58% of America. And when you talk about Nevada, we have a KTNV TV channel 13 Rasmussen poll of Nevada. Voters released in July found 50% said yes and 41 no. Attitudes have relaxed so much on marijuana that it's hard to find an activist group that would organize, pound the streets, and donate money to fight it, Herzik said. Tell that to Arizona and other states where there is opposition, heavy opposition from pharmaceutical interests and other interests, but one of the ones we keep seeing a pattern over and over again is the alcohol lobby. And then there's one last wild card here, according to this article that I'm hammering, and that would be Sheldon Adelson. Of course, Sheldon Adelson, you know, the billionaire that likes to throw his money around, threw all kinds of money at the last elections and see if he could get Mitt Romney in and get a bunch of people in, and then he tried to go with Gingrich, and he tried to fund Gingrich when Gingrich was still in this thing against Trump, and let's see, he also, back in 2014, threw $5 million at the Amendment 2 in Florida. And, I mean, that got defeated. Was it all his fault? Was it his money, or was it the lady from Public's money? Was it other money there? There was like $10 million to fight it then. So, what we're looking at is Sheldon Adelson. He's the Las Vegas Sands chairman, and I'm reading from the Review Journal, and they're owned by this guy, basically. So they're talking shit about him, but yet he owns the paper they write in. But they're saying, hey, here, this guy is a wild card. There's still time. It's not even October yet. This dude could drop millions of dollars and just be like, no. I don't know what he's going to do with that. These propagandist commercials, they're garbage. No one loves them. No one watches them. Everybody hates them. They got to go. No two ways about it. So I don't know what he's going to run, you know. He's going to run to the far right-wing Christian people in Nevada. I don't know. I think Clark County might have you beat, but that's all we got on that story. I'll keep you abreast of any new details as they develop, but it looks to me like the reason that you have these different oppositions is the alcohol lobby, number one. As I said, WikiLeaks came out and laid out the whole way that the alcohol lobby kind of acts like the ALEC lobby does with the right-wingers. Well, they do it with the left-wingers, the right-wingers, the in-betweeners. They don't care who it is. The alcohol lobby throws the money on the table, and you either change your marijuana laws so that they're the ones that run recreational marijuana, or they're going to fight your marijuana law until it's beat down into the ground dead. I don't know how hardcore the alcohol lobby fought in Michigan to make all the evils fall upon us. You'll have to talk to Rick Snyder and the gaggle of Republicans in Lansing to figure that out. But as far as I can tell, what you have going on here is Nevada. Their marijuana law says that recreational marijuana will be run by the alcohol people, whereas Arizona, not so much. Opposition, Nevada, none. There's none on the ground. There's a couple people that might have said something in a conversation about it here and there, but on the ground, there's no opposition. On TV, there's no ads. On billboards, they're about to come down, and they're not even really against marijuana. They're just like, hey, some edibles might have marijuana in them. Better label it. Unbelievable.